There are many interesting updates from the Kupiansk direction in Kharkiv Oblast. According to Euromaidan Press media outlet, Russian forces push forward in their bid to expand control along the Oskil River, relying on mechanized assaults to break through Ukrainian defenses. However, with poor logistics and relentless Ukrainian drone strikes turning their armored columns into burning wrecks, the battle for Kupiansk's southern flank becomes a brutal test of endurance. Euromaidan Press says that the goal of Russian forces in the area is to expand their control along the Oskil River and reach the city of Kupiansk. This is the most important sector of their long-standing effort to eliminate the Ukrainian bridgehead across the Oskil River, consolidating their gains in Luhansk Oblast on an operational level. To achieve this objective, Russian forces have slowly worked their way to the river at the village of Kruhlyakivka. To further support these efforts, Russians are trying to reinforce their infantry along the river with armored units, hoping to give them the firepower needed to finally achieve a breakthrough. The main advantage of the Russian forces is their high ground positions from which they can support their efforts along the Oskil River. Furthermore, the gully through the village of Pischane is surrounded on two sides by these high grounds, allowing them to move their forces through there in relative safety from direct Ukrainian fire. However, Russian movement through the gully is heavily complicated by the absence of hardened roads through the lowlands, with the lowlands also being more prone to flooding and muddy terrain. This path becomes basically unusable during the muddy seasons. This forces Russians to increasingly use the roads on the high ground, risking increased exposure to Ukrainian fire. Furthermore, Russians operate over 40 kilometers from their supply hub in Svatove, decreasing the effectiveness of their supply lines. Additionally, once they attempt to drive toward their positions along the Oskil River, Russian forces quickly come under an intense Ukrainian crossfire. FPV drones fly in from both sides along the entire stretch of their spearhead. Overall, due to the poor logistics and lack of infrastructure in the southern flank of Kupiansk, the Russian forces were exposed to precision strikes by FPV kamikaze drones of the Ukrainian Achilles Battalion of the 92nd Infantry Brigade. The success of the Achilles Battalion in repulsing several Russian mechanized attacks on the southern flank of Kupiansk over the past months allowed them to expand from a battalion to a regiment, increasing the size of their unit by nearly 4 times. The huge influx of new Ukrainian drone operators will allow them to counter the Russian attacks to even greater effect, further deteriorating the Russian situation here and possibly even setting conditions for Ukrainians to retake the east bank of the Oskil River.
On the night of February 3rd, a drone attack took place on a gas refinery in the Hashratkin region of Russia. Local Telegram channels reported this. Ukrainian-owned kamikaze drone struck the gas refinery. As a result, an explosion and fire occurred. There were no reports of casualties. The plant is one of the main energy facilities in Russia, producing gas condensate, gasoline and diesel fuel.
О, смотри, 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 идет сюда. Офигеть, сейчас. Вот, видели эту волну? Просто жесть. А как светло было, вообще капец. я думаю, что пора, парни, блядь.
Ukrainian troops struck over 25 strategic facilities, including military-industrial complex factories, refineries and oil depots during January, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation, Andrei Kovalenko, reported on Saturday. Ukraine struck a large number of Russian facilities in the past few weeks, according to research by Canal 13. On January 24, Ukrainian kamikaze drone attack caused fire in Russia's Ryazan oil refinery, which is among the largest oil facilities in the country. On the same day, Ukrainian drones hit Dyagilevo military air base storing two 95V Tu-22 Russian bombers. Another oil base came under Ukrainian drone attack in Lysky city in Voronezh region on the night leading to January 21, followed by a drone attack on an aviation factory in Voronezh region. The factory in Voronezh was producing Su-25 fighter jets. Ukrainian drones also targeted aviation and helicopter factories in Russia's Tatarstan Republic. The facilities in the city of Kazan were producing two 160 missile carriers and two 22M3M/two 22M3 bombers. The drone attacks were also carried out on an oil bases in Russia's Tula region on January 18. A major attack on Svatove region on January 14 disrupted the work of Kristall oil facility in Engels city. The oil base supplied fuel to the Engels 2 military airfield, where strategic aviation is located. Ukraine has stepped up attacks on Russia's key oil and industry facilities in recent months in response to Russia's targeting of Ukraine's residential infrastructure.